Welcome to this POV review and test drive of the all-new 2021 Dacia Sandero. We're going to take this Super Mini for a drive and have a look around to see what the most affordable new car on the market is like. We drove this new Sandero at Joe Malin Motors Naas. The Sandero starts at $12,990, making it the lowest priced new car on the market, undercutting rivals like the Hyundai i20, Opel Corsa and Skoda Fabia by a considerable margin. The one we're driving today is the entry model, which starts at below 13 grand. We're going to take you around the exterior, the interior, and go for a spin, so stick around. So here it is, the all-new Sandero. By now, most of us are familiar with the Dacia brand and what they are all about. They offer affordable motoring. If you want to skip to a specific part of the review, the chapters are in the description box below. This new Sandero is based on the latest Clio, and this car is all new for 2021. I think in the looks department, the Sandero looks bang up to date, and from the rear you can see a slight similarity with the older generation model, but it now looks like a much more grown up car. The colour of this one is Highland Grey, but there are a number of different colours that Dacia offer. The standard Sandero doesn't get alloy wheels, but you wouldn't expect to at this price. The Sandero Stepway is more or less a crossover version of the hatchback, and this car is specable with alloys. It also has a higher ride height than the hatchback. The Stepway version starts from just under 16 grand in Ireland and also offers great value if you're in the market for a small crossover. Back to this car here, and up front you get full LED headlights and daytime running LEDs as well. This is as standard on a car starting below 13 grand. That's pretty decent. The front end looks modern, stylish and a little bit different, and I think the styling overall is a massive improvement over the last Sandero, which was a little bland. Let us know in the comments below what you think of the new Sandero styling. The engine in this one is the entry-level 65 brake horsepower 1 litre petrol, and we'll talk about how that drives when we're behind the wheel. The boot for the Sandero is 328 litres, which is pretty much par for the course in this segment. You have plenty of shopping bag hooks and tie-down points should you need to use them. Underneath the boot floor there is no spare wheel, but this is very common now in modern cars. You do get a tyre repair kit, and potentially you could store smaller items under here if needed. So if we climb into the rear of the Sandero, this front seat is more or less set in my driving position. I'm 6'4" and my legs are just about touching the seat back, but I can still move them. For this size and price of car, I think that this is more than acceptable, and headroom isn't too bad either. For most people though, there will be more than enough leg and headroom. There are a few small features back here missing, like the way there's no pockets in the seat backs, and there's no rear armrest, but that shouldn't be much of an issue for buyers. There are handles on the roof for the two rear passengers, as well as the front passenger. Let's move into the front and see what that's like. So moving up front, and the front two windows are electric. The front door pocket isn't a bad size either. The mirrors are manual, but again you can live with that at this price point. The seats have plenty of adjustment. I'm 6'4", and sometimes the driver's seat won't go low enough in some cars. But I had no problem finding a comfortable driving position in the Sandero. The seats themselves are actually really comfortable as well, and I was surprised by the support they offered for your lower back. That's a big plus because you need a car that's comfortable to sit in. The interior plastics aren't soft to touch, but you wouldn't expect them to be. They do feel hard wearing though. The fit and finish is decent, and again Renault parts make up much of the Dacia's interior. This base spec is a little dark, but overall it feels well built. You may be wondering where the radio unit is. What Dacia have done here is interesting, but I think it will work for most buyers. So while there is no traditional radio unit in the centre, you do still get radio and Bluetooth. It's just completely controlled through the centre screen of the dashboard, which in fairness is easy enough to navigate. The radio controls for volume and settings are on this stalk behind the steering wheel, and then this dock/clamp can hold your phone. You put Dacia's app on it and it's like you have a screen in your car with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto and all the usual stuff you would expect, along with a handy USB right beside the dock to keep it charged. I think this is quite clever from Dacia because many of us dock our phones anyway, but let us know in the comments what you think of this system. There is air conditioning, it's simple, familiar and standard dials, and this car is all about the essentials. Further down you'll find a power outlet, and the gearbox is a 5-speed manual. The glove box is slightly reduced in size due to the fuse box, but it is still quite deep and should hold a few of your smaller items. On the roof there is an SOS button which is standard. The sunblind has no mirror. You get cruise control, which again is another standard feature on this car, not bad for sub 13 grand. The driver gets a foldable armrest and it does the job. There's also a standard handbrake, cup holder and cubbies. These are all good things that will come in handy. I think that's pretty much the interior covered, so now let's take it out on the road. So first impressions from behind the wheel of the Sandero, and it's by no means a quick car to drive. With only 65 brake horsepower and no turbo, it can feel a little sluggish at times, but generally can keep up with the flow of urban traffic. There's also features like start-stop, which should help to save a bit of fuel. In the corners there is some minor body roll, but no more than you would expect. Yes, there are cars in this class that drive better than the Sandero and are more fun to drive, like the Ford Fiesta, but that car is considerably more expensive than the Sandero, like many of its rivals. Comfort is something the Sandero manages to achieve. The suspension is set up really well to deal with the unpredictability of Irish roads. The seats are worth another mention. They really are supportive for your back, and I feel like if I had to, even though it's not exactly what this car is meant for, you could do a reasonably long journey behind the wheel without a problem. We also took the Sandero out onto the motorway to see how it performed. Obviously the revs do rise at motorway speeds, but it still feels reasonably comfortable. The noise from the engine isn't too intrusive, it's still fairly quiet in the cabin. There is some wind noise at the A-pillar, but you get that on many of the Sandero's rivals that cost quite a lot more. The Sandero is an improvement on what was already a strong seller throughout Ireland and Europe. I see no reason why this new model won't continue on the same trend. It undercuts all of its rivals on price. If you do want a little more kit, then the next spec level offers a few more extras, but I think there will be quite a few people impressed with even this basic spec, as it has all the essentials they will likely need at a very reasonable price. I think this new Sandero looks better than the outgoing model and drives better too. This new model will likely appeal to small families, first-time drivers, or even those looking for a second car to do short journeys like the school run. It's comfortable and even somewhat relaxing to drive, and what you get for your money here is really incredible. The value it offers is unbeatable, and for under 13 grand you're getting a brand new car that has proven reliable engines, some nice options you wouldn't expect to get as standard, and it shares many of its parts with the Renault Clio. If you're in the market for a small family hatchback, then the Sandero is certainly worth a look. Let us know what you think of the latest Sandero in the comments, and thanks for watching the video. If you've watched this far, leave a like and hit subscribe. Also check us out on Instagram at deck_cars. Thanks for watching Deck of Cars, and we'll talk to you in the next one.